Lord the Minister is aware that in the past 50 years, the global population of domestic poultry has multiplied 6 times, from 5.7 billion to 36 billion, representing 70% of the avian biomass on this planet. That's large reservoirs for disease to flourish, connected by trade, which inevitably spills over into wild populations, as we're seeing here, and we know that this avian flu originated in a domestic population. The Noble Lord may be aware of the editorial last month in the journal Science, which said this avian flu outbreak should be regarded as, quote, a warning with devastating consequences if not heeded, close quotes. There's also African swine flu spreading over into wild populations, Mycoplasma gallisepticemia in finches and other wild birds in North America. The authors argue that we need to see reduced livestock numbers and reduced density on farms, limited movement of livestock, and in middle and higher income countries, movement to protein sources that are plant-based. Does the Noble Lord the Minister agree there is a systematic issue with factory farming that represents an unacceptable risk to human and environmental health?
We have very high animal welfare standards here, which have seen, for example, the removal of battery cages. We've worked faster than other countries in Europe and elsewhere to improve those factors. But the point that really lies behind what the Noble Baroness raises is, of course, that in the time of my grandparents were alive, chicken was a luxury item that one had relatively rarely. In fact, it was in many cases reared on the premises. And it has now become the staple diet of large populations right around the world. And the market has, in a way, responded to that. Now, I'm not saying that there are not complications that have arisen out of that. Just the recent drive by retailers to have free-range eggs has seen an enormous increase in in egg producers in areas like the Wye Valley, and that has now started to have an impact on the natural environment. And so these are all things that government has to try and foresee and bring in measures, whether it's planning or whether it's the right incentives or whether it's regulation or laws. And what she's asking there is perhaps a more philosophical one, perhaps one, a societal one that we need to tackle as best as governments can. But people want and like eating chicken and eggs. And there are a lot more people around than there were when my grandparents were alive, and we have to feed a hungry world. But we have to do it sustainably. We have to do it mindful of the impact of both disease and impact on the natural environment.